In the news this week, a Christian baking company is threatened with legal action for refusing to make a pro-gay marriage cake. A Red Cross volunteer is dismissed from his role because of his support for traditional marriage. And in this week's Choose Life story, a woman speaks about overcoming disability. Hello, and welcome to this week's news bulletin from the Christian Institute. An equality watchdog is launching legal proceedings against a Christian bakery which declined to make a pro-gay marriage campaign cake earlier this year. In a 16-page letter sent last week, the Equality Commission for Northern Ireland demanded that Asher's Baking Company offer compensation or face litigation. It claims that the business broke equality laws by turning down the cake order. Daniel MacArthur, General Manager of Asher's, said he's surprised the Commission is continuing to pursue them.
It feels like a David and Goliath battle because on one hand we have the Equality Commission, who are a public body. They're funded by taxpayers' money. They have massive resources at their disposal, whereas we are a small family business and we have limited resources at our disposal. We're continuing to hold to the stand that we took originally because we believe it's biblical. We believe it's what God would want us to do. And we also think that if we do cave into the Equality Commission at this point, it'll put pressure on other citizens who are defending their view of traditional marriage.
The Christian Institute's Legal Defence Fund is supporting the MacArthur family. You can show your support for Asher's Baking Company on social media sites Facebook and Twitter and by donating at christian.org.uk/give. A grandfather who spent almost 20 years volunteering for the Red Cross has been dropped by the organisation for opposing the redefinition of marriage. Brian Barclay held a sign which read "No same-sex marriage" on the first day same-sex marriages took place in England. In August, the British Red Cross told him his opportunity to volunteer had been withdrawn permanently and with immediate effect. Coalition for Marriage, an umbrella group of traditional marriage supporters, is backing Mr. Barclay.
The Coalition for Marriage has always said that it would stand by anyone who was punished simply for believing in traditional marriage, and that's what has happened to Mr. Barclay. Nobody should be dismissed, whether they're a volunteer or whatever, simply for believing that marriage can only be between a man and a woman. There are millions of people in this country who believe that. Is the Red Cross going to comb through its volunteer lists and exclude all those people that believe in traditional marriage? I mean, they wouldn't have many volunteers left when they were finished. So it's quite wrong what the Red Cross has done. Mr. Barclay is appealing their decision. We hope that they'll see sense and back down. And we hope as well that the stand that he's taking will send a signal to employers, to organisations, that they cannot punish people simply for believing in traditional marriage.
In our latest Choose Life story, a successful dramatist, writer and broadcaster who was born with multiple disabilities shares her story. Hilary McDowell was given a life expectancy of just 3 weeks, and doctors said that she would never be able to walk and possibly never speak. Now she wants to be a voice for babies threatened with abortion because of fetal abnormality.
I know that today people are calling for abortion for fetal abnormality. I sympathise greatly with the mothers and the tragedy and the heartbreak of that. However, I believe no disability is without hope. I'm wanting, in a humble way, to be the voice of the baby, crying out and saying, I'm here, I'm alive, I want to live. Please, please remember my life. Please let me live.
For more stories, visit the Christian Institute's Choose Life Hub at christian.org.uk/choose life. According to a major new poll, more than half of voters in marginal constituencies believe that the answer to the UK's drug problem is better enforcement of current laws. A ComRes poll commissioned by the Christian Institute found that just 1 in 4 people think a more liberal stance on drugs is needed. 56% of people agree that the answer to the UK's drug problem is better enforcement. In the national poll, 54% agreed with the statement, "Given all the other social problems besetting the UK, the last thing the country needs is to legalise drugs like cannabis." Just 25% disagreed. The survey follows the release of a Home Office drugs report, which the Liberal Democrats are using as evidence in support of decriminalisation. Colin Hart, director of the Christian Institute, criticised the Liberal Democrats' call. This poll highlights just how out of touch those pushing for the legalisation of drugs are. The public know that drugs devastate lives and cost the country billions. Making access to these dangerous substances easier will simply make matters worse. And finally, MPs have passed a near-unanimous motion to make sex-selective abortion explicitly illegal, after growing concern that the law is unclear. Fiona Bruce MP tabled a 10-minute rule bill, which passed by 181 votes to 1. Mrs Bruce believes that the bill would put beyond doubt that sex-selective abortion is not permitted by UK law. Addressing the House of Commons, she raised concerns about BPAS, the country's biggest abortion provider.
Mr Speaker, it is a shame that this clarification is needed. Successive health ministers and even the Prime Minister have been very clear. They state that abortion for reasons of gender alone is illegal. The Prime Minister has described the practice as simply appalling. But they are being ignored. The British Pregnancy Advisory Service, which performs around 60,000 abortions a year, flatly disagrees. Even today, they are still advising women in one of their leaflets and on their website that abortion for reasons of fetal sex is not illegal because the law is silent on the matter.
Mrs Bruce's call to stop sex-selective abortion was criticised by pro-abortion charity Brooke, which described the bill as anti-choice. Well, that's all for this week. For more information and regular updates on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.